and this is a hard question to ask. How hard is it to be from China in the United States? We talk about how China can recruit anybody it wants and tries to go after you. Is there an aura of people suspicious of you just because you're Chinese? Should people be suspicious because you're Chinese? What's your message to American business owners, even up to the highest levels, when you're dealing with this? Because from what you're telling me, it's almost as if you just don't know.
Right, Grant. Well, I think, still, message from the new federal state of China is not every single Chinese people work for Chinese Communist Party. And in fact, that lots of Chinese people, Chinese Americans, are supporting the ideologies of taking down the CCP. And that's primarily why, we, the new federal state of China, are working very hard every single day to spread the messages out. And in terms of, our employers in these countries, I do think, a very thorough background check is needed. I think our government actually needs to do more investigations because, just like Ping Li, he was able to transfer information to the CCP for over a decade. And now, the DOJ handed over the indictment and issued the arrest warrant, against him.
Is there anything that people can look for? Are there tips that are maybe giveaways that something's amiss?
Absolutely. I think with, specific sensitive access and specific essential departments, of the federal government, this is where CCP targeted most. Right? CCP was not, they're not going to, walking on the streets and asking a Chinese American to see if they can obtain information randomly. But the problem is that they are recruiting people who have, people who potentially will have access, people who potentially are qualified to gain access and without any suspicious, people who can pass around general background checks with these employers. So this is where, we need to be careful because, with sensitive access to cybersecurity attacks and the countermeasures that Verizon may have, in those cybersecurity, training informations, this is where CCP heavily looked at and what they value. So with specific positions, who may have, sensitive access, who may have been in touch, with, national secrets here in the United States, I would definitely, raise the standards. I will definitely, make a higher look on all of the qualification and understand the people's travel history and network here in the United States. There are different levels of these informants and spies of the Chinese Communist Party as well, right? The highest level were, the secret child, the secret children, and secret family members of these CCP officials. And if you look at Ping Li, he was merely just an immigrant to the United States, and he was naturalized as an American citizen. However, MSS contacted him, and he worked for the CCP for over a decade. There are different layers. If you look at Peng Xiao, the G42, famous AI companies in Abu Dhabi, Peng Xiao is one of the secret child of one of the CCP top officials, Han Zhen. So you look at all of these different layers, you understand how much CCP value about advanced technologies, about telecommunications, and this is where exactly I think America needs to be careful, in recruiting, any people who might have been, very extensive Chinese networks, in mainland China.